Everyone, welcome to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to learn and study about a very important topic, that is subnetting. So let's get started. So what is subnetting? Introduction to subnetting. Now subnetting is the process of dividing a larger network into a smaller network called a subnet. Okay. So in subnetting, what we do is that we have a large network, right? And we are dividing that large network into small networks called subnets. For example, let's say we have a network called as L1. Okay. And what we are doing is we are dividing that network into S1. Let's say S1 is another some small network, and then S2 is also another small network, then S3, then S4. So what we have done is L1 was a large network, and we divided that network into small networks, that is S1, S2, S3, and S4. Okay. And what is this? These small networks called? All these small networks are subnets. Okay, one single is a subnet and others are a group of subnet is a subnets. Okay, so when we divide a large network into a smaller network, uh, we create subnets. We can think of it or understand this better with the help of the example of a company. Okay, let's say that we have a company. Okay, and there are multiple or different departments that are present inside a company. Okay, and what we do inside a company is that we have multiple employees and we have multiple departments. But what is the reason behind creating these departments? Right? What is the reason behind it? Why are we creating these departments? We are creating different departments so that it becomes easier to do the work, right? So that it becomes easier to do the work because let's say there is a department called as a marketing department, and another department is a sales department, and then other department is a technical department. Now what are these people doing of these departments? These departments do the work or do the work mainly of their respective departments. Like the marketing department will look after the marketing work, and the sales department will look after the sales work. The technical department will look after the technical, right? So similarly, in a network, large network, what are we doing? We are creating subnets. That is, we are dividing a large network in small networks which are known as subnet. Why are we doing this? So that we can easily transmit the data, right? The what is the main purpose, main sole duty of a network? The main sole duty of a network is to transmit the data properly. So what are we doing in a network is that we are transmitting the data. Now we have divided a large network into small networks, which is called subnets, right? So in a subnet, what are we doing? Why are we creating? Because once, let's say, there's a huge network and that huge network is having multiple nodes, multiple devices, right? So it will be difficult for each of these devices to divide the data, right? We don't know how will the data reach from a certain node to a certain node. Now, how are we going to easily transmit the data? Similarly, like how we were doing in the department example, like we created multiple departments. Why did we create a multiple departments? So that we divided the work, right? We divided the work there. Similarly, why we created subnets here so that we were able to easily divide the data, and because dividing the data will actually help us leading to easily transmitting the data. Right, this was the one of the main reasons of creating the subnet so that we can easily transmit the data between different devices, because in a smaller network there will be less number of devices and less number of nodes that will be present in a smaller network rather than in a larger network, right? So why are we creating a subnet? So that it becomes easy to transmit the data. Another reason is because in a smaller network there are less number of devices. It becomes easy for them to communicate, right? Because think of it with example. Let's say we are standing in a huge in a circle with a huge hundred of people, right? And we cannot communicate easily with all of them. But if we are standing in a group of five, we can easily communicate because that is a smaller network, right? So another reason is that it helps in easy communication. Third reason is that it helps in security. And fourth reason is that it becomes easier to manage the network because a smaller network will be easier to manage, obviously. Now, each subnet can be monitored and controlled separately. Like we all know that, uh, let's again understand this with the help of the department example. That every department, we have separate departments for the marketing, we have separate department for tech, right? And they are looking after their respective works, right? Like the department of technology is looking after a technical department. Similarly, and marketing department is looking after the marketing work. Similarly, each subnet that is given to us is monitored and controlled separately. They are looking after and transmitting the data separately. Now, introduction to Subnet. What is Subnet? I've already told you it is a smaller group within a large network. These were the subnets. Now, the main purpose of a network we all know is transmitting the data. Now, it is a way. What is subnetting? It is a way to split a larger network into smaller networks so that devices present in one network can easily transmit the data more easily. I have already explained this to you. Why are we creating subnets so that we can easily transmit the data? This is the example that I was talking about, that in a company, different departments can have their own subnet. Okay. Now, this is the last point. Subnet makes the network faster and easier to manage and also improves the security of the network. We all know that we are creating the subnet so that it becomes easy to transmit the data, as well as it becomes easy to communicate, helps in security, as well as it helps in managing the network, right? So all these factors are actually contributing in making the subnet, which is a smaller network, making it more faster to work, right? So I hope all these points and all these concepts that I explained to you were understood by you. And that's all for today's video. If you liked my way of teaching, then please help me grow and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.